Since 1989, this morning's guest's life has been in stages. Meet him. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at McTaylor's Alterations and Boutique at 712 Main Street in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're focused on waves of change, a recently reduced documentary about Myrtle Beach, and we're visiting with its producer, director, a little bit of everything. There's a lot more than that, and videographer Chuck Stokes. Tell me exactly your position, Chuck. Forgive me, I want to jump into
my position in relation to this documentary.
Waves of change, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right. I served as the director, editor. The producer was a woman by the name of Barbara Stokes.
Right, yes.
No relation.
Right.
She's actually
None at
from
all.
Southwest Texas. But she wrote a book. She was contracted by the Chapin Memorial Library a few years ago to write a book on the history of Myrtle Beach that spans 1900 to 1980. Right. And then we had the idea to let's produce a companion DVD. It's an hour long, also spanning that same period of time. So she wrote the script for the video. She pulled that out of all the research she had done for the book, and gave that to us, and then we took it from there.
And directing, editing is old hat to you, Chuck. This is and a gorgeous cover here. Wow, can you all see that? Yeah, a magnificent cover. And of course, you said December 10 was the day, so it's just been out about 3 weeks.
Yes, December 10th was the official premiere of the documentary and the official release of the book. And they're both available at the Chapin Memorial Library. They're selling them there. The documentary they sell for $15, a great price, and the book is $30.
Fantastic. Very easy to find. Of course, a lot of folks, in their hours are normal city hours, library-type hours.
That's correct.
If folks wanted to come in, if they're driving in from the PD or otherwise, a great opportunity to pick that up, and that's the only place they're selling them.
Right. That is the only place you can get it. It was a great item this past month for Christmas. It just made a perfect gift for that, so they've been real pleased with the way they've been flying off the shelves, if you want to say.
Yes, yes. And speaking of Christmas, I hope you all had a great one.
Great one. We always go up to Columbia to visit with Diane's sister and her husband are up there, and they have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, our niece and nephew. So we go up there. We're there Christmas Eve. We're there in the morning, so we can check out what Santa brought, and we just have a big time for them. And then we took them our gift to the kids instead of doing the traditional gift thing, because they got every toy under the world.
Oh no!
Yeah,
thanks to Uncle Chuck and Diane. That's right.
The aunts, the uncles, and the grandparents, and their parents. Everybody's very generous when it comes to the gifts, but a few years ago, Diane and I decided, we're not going to do that anymore. What we would like to do is give a gift of lasting memories.
Right.
And so our gift to the kids is that we take them and their parents, and me and Diane, away on New Year's for a long New Year's trip together. Yeah. And first time we just went up to the mountains and had a great time, saw some snow. Last year we did Gatlinburg, and this year we just got back Tuesday, New Year's Day, from Atlanta. We had a great trip.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
right.
stayed at Stone Mountain, did the aquarium, Coca-Cola Museum, all the good stuff. Had a great time.
And y'all plan that out well in advance. I mean, you really obviously plan out. You and Diane travel on a regular basis. Fortunately, Stages Video, which y'all co-founded and own together, is doing well enough so you're able to get out of town a good bit.
Yeah, we're very passionate about our travels, and even when we first started our business way back in 1989, what we do is we get together the first of the year, and we say, we don't necessarily know where we're going this year, but we're going to say this is the time we're going to go. So we block it out of the calendars, and that way, as the year progresses, we make sure nothing infringes on that vacation time. And try to do at least one, and if we're fortunate, maybe 2 nice trips. Last year, we went to an island in the summer called Anguilla, which a lot of people haven't heard of.
I've never.
Anguilla, not to be
wondered.
confused with Antigua, but Anguilla, which is just a few miles off the coast of St. Martin.
Right.
And just had a wonderful time there. And then in September, we did the southwest coast of Ireland.
Is that right?
Had a great time.
Very enjoyable, I'm sure. Y'all were there how long?
We try to do 10, 12 days.
Push for as close to 2 weeks as possible.
Yeah, well, it's hard for Diane to get more than that because she does her talk show.
Of course,
and
yes.
just like
Southern
you.
Style, which is now celebrating more than 2 decades, isn't it?
23. Well,
Yeah,
you know, it's
pushing the silver
right after we
anniversary.
moved here, so she's in her 24th year.
Right.
Actually, starting
amazing.
probably next month.
Diane was with us at the Coastal Carolina Association of Realtors not long ago as we were filming out there, and to see her in everything she does. And just recently I saw Lynn Smith, who was this year's Volunteer of the Year, and she was so excited to have followed in Diane Devon Stokes' footsteps as Volunteer of the Year from the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. It was so exciting. So many things your wife does, and obviously you all as a team do. Speaking of team things, obviously a big piece tonight, which highlights something coming up in early February. Share with viewers about what's going on tonight.
Well, in addition to traveling, which we have a passion for, we also enjoy community theater.
Right.
And we've been involved with the Theater of the Republic in Conway and at the theater there for probably since the early, 1990, probably right after we started our business. And we've been in about 15 shows with them. But tonight is a fundraiser that they always do the first weekend in January.
Right.
And for the past few years, Diane and I have served as the host of that.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so we come out and we do the small talk bantering, introducing all these wonderful people with wonderful voices, and it's all kind of a musical review.
That are dedicated to not only upcoming, or immediately upcoming shows, but shows throughout the year.
Well, the theater has their regular season.
Right.
You know, this past season they opened up with Chicago, which was just an incredible show.
Yeah.
And then they did the high school reunion musical in the fall. They're coming up with their next production will be Guys and Dolls, followed by Jesus Christ Superstar and Dreamgirls. So it's a great season, but then they also throw in some additional shows that are not part of the season ticket.
Right.
Like the Holiday on Main Street, the Christmas production that they just finished. And then this fundraiser is just an opportunity basically for them to put together a show,
Right.
run it for 4 performances. They have no royalties to pay because Tim McGee, the executive director there, he always comes up with his theme and he puts together a cast. And sometimes he lets the cast decide what they want to sing, what they want to perform, or sometimes, like this year, he's actually putting it together. In fact, he said his joke is, he says, this year's fundraiser, it's all about me. And it's people that I like and performances that I like and want to see again, songs that I like. So he put the cast together.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, last year he let the membership of the theater vote on their favorite performers to come out and do that. And so anyway, his joke was, this year it's all about me. It's going to be the people I want and the songs I want to hear. But it's a great sellout performance every year. So if you want to come, like I said, we open tonight. We run Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights at 8, and then there'll be a 3 o'clock Sunday matinee. Call the theater, get those tickets.
488-0821. Is that the best number to call?
That's the only number to call.
Okay, good. Yeah, an absolute good number. And of course, February 6th, the kickoff of
Guys and Dolls.
Oh yeah, and I think you got a little role in that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A little, just tiny, kind of behind the scenes.
Well, Diane and I are in this, and if you're not familiar with the show, it's a great. In fact, it's been described as the perfect musical comedy.
Is that right? Guys and Dolls.
Yeah, and it's basically a musical fable about the gangsters and the mobsters that inhabited Broadway and the environs in like the 1940s. But now all these characters are really over the top and almost comic bookish. In fact, I think Tim has said that all the costumes are going to be very vivid, bright colors, and it follows the love lives basically of 2 couples. You have Sky Masterson, who's the very suave and debonair, high roller gambler guy, and his love interest with Sister Sarah, who runs the Mission on Broadway, very meek and mild woman. And then you have Nathan Detroit, which is the part I'm playing, and Adelaide, which is the part Diane is playing. And Adelaide is a showgirl. You know, she works at the cabaret. And Nathan is not a gambler, but what his gimmick is he runs the crap games.
And he's not a gambler.
No, he takes his portion off the top. He doesn't gamble. And so his big thing, he's always going around trying to find a place to do the crap game. And there's a great song in there called the oldest established permanent floating crap game in New York.
I can't believe you got that out.
Yeah. It's a great number, and it's just a lot of fun, family-friendly show.
Right.
You'll recognize a lot of the songs from it. One probably the most popular, "Luck Be a Lady Tonight."
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Great scene with that. And the part Diane plays as Miss Adelaide is just absolutely hilarious. You have to keep in mind that Adelaide and Nathan have been engaged.
Is it 14?
14 years.
Sorry to pull that punchline, but
and so
engaged for 14
engaged for 14 years.
Yeah.
So Adelaide's very anxious to go ahead and get married, and Nathan is still like, Adelaide, these things take time. We don't want to rush it.
I love it. We're seeing you in
a little character there. So we've just, the auditions were back at the right after Thanksgiving, and it takes them a couple of weeks to put the cast together. We got a cast of about 25. Because you need a lot of gangsters in this production, and some great dancing. But anyway, so we had a few rehearsals, right before the holidays, and of course now we have this fundraiser for this weekend. But starting Sunday night, it'll just be bam, 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 because we only have 4 weeks before opening, which is February 6th.
February 6th, that's right. I know, obviously, again, tickets are either almost sold out or sold out.
The good thing, the good news, bad news for the Theater of the Republic is they got a great season membership.
Right.
All right? But the season membership pretty much guarantees that they are sold out of all their regular shows. So what they've been experimenting with, and what they did with Chicago, what they're also doing with this, the regular shows run Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, Sunday matinee, and we do that for 2 weeks. And then they've added the third weekend to this production.
Right.
So we're running an extra Friday, Saturday, actually 2 shows Saturday, a Saturday matinee, Saturday evening performance, and a Sunday matinee. And the good thing about that, those 4 performances, 4 performances are the available seats.
Right.
So you need to call now because
488-0821. Okay.
They will go fast. But it's a lot of fun. You say, how do you do it? And sometimes we're like,
I don't know how you find the time. Of course, you all have a very active business, Stages Video Productions. Of course, filming here at McTaylor's early this morning as I'm looking out, seeing the Stages Video Productions van out there, which folks see all over town. I don't know, there must be 8 Chuck Stokes, too.
Yeah, right. And God forbid that.
Diane might not handle it.
It's tough. Yeah. And in fact, one of the main reasons we wanted to do this show is because it's a February production.
Right.
Which, traditionally January and February, it's a little easier to get away from the work, from work, and do the rehearsals. And also, we're excited because we did this show before.
15 years ago.
1993 or 1994, for Theater of the Republic.
Wow.
We played the same parts, and so we were like, wouldn't it be cool if we weren't too old to do the parts again?
You said it back then.
Yeah.
So if they ever bring it back, wouldn't it be great?
Wouldn't it be great to do it? And Diane loves the part. I love the part, and she is so good at it. And so we're like, we really need to audition for this.
Right.
We'd like to do something.
But you still at least audition. I mean, there are other folks who I'm sure may have been thinking, I'd love to get the part. That's Chuck Stokes. Let's throw him overboard. Yeah.
Well, we've done a lot and we've been involved, but the audition process is still good.
Right.
And we felt very confident going in there, but you never know who's going to walk in off the street.
Sure. Some superstar.
Chicago, the 2 girls that came in and did the leads had never done anything for the Theater of the Republic, had never auditioned. They had never seen these girls before, and they came in and blew everybody away at the auditions.
Wow.
And the show was phenomenal. The girls could have been on Broadway. They were that good. So you never know. It's like, hope we get the part. We're going to go and audition. You feel good, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, somebody else will get it.
Anyone could walk.
But it's like if somebody else gets it, that's fine. Because the other flip side of the coin was, this January is going to be absolutely crazy. We've got the 2 debates, coming up. The first one's next week.
A week from today.
And we're involved in doing some behind-the-scenes work on that for the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And then we've just got some other projects with Stages Video that we are physically slammed with Stages Video for January. And here's the deal. It's like the rehearsal schedule is Sunday night through Friday night.
Wow.
7 o'clock to 10:30.
That's insane, Chuck.
Yeah,
I'm shocked we've got you here at 7 a.m. on a Thursday morning.
Well, like I said, it's if it was later in the month, I probably would have said no.
Yeah.
But now, since it's the first week of the month, I'm like, okay,
That's
this 30 days from now, I'll just be dead.
Absolutely.
And then you do the show, which runs for another month. So it's like, It's a great experience. It's fun. It is very physically exhausting, especially for us old-timers, you know.
Oh, come on. You and Diane have got more energy than anyone in this room, at least. I don't know. I don't know how y'all do it. Y'all have been married how long, Chuck?
20? Putting me on the spot. 1984, 23 years.
23 years, yes. Just coming into the 24th year this year. And obviously, it's tough to imagine even being in 2008, Chuck. It's to think about it. It doesn't seem like it was Y2K just yesterday.
It does.
I mean, it seems like we're all worried about computers and things going awry. It's almost an entire decade since that. It's amazing now.
Time flies.
Flown. Yeah.
Look at your little girl. You know?
I know, and LeClaire's gotten so big. And of course, for y'all now, the trip over to Conway and performing there at Theater of the Republic is a lot easier now than it probably was getting over there. It's a lot easier.
Oh, with the roads, yeah.
Right.
And for us, because we just, living in Myrtle Beach, we just zip over the Grissom Bridge and go back through the Carolina Forest Road back there. Because we're doing it at night, so the traffic's not bad.
There's no traffic. That's or much less traffic. That's exactly right. You know, so much of, obviously, you mentioned Sage's video and the relationship with the Chamber. You all have been doing a lot of work with the Chamber over the years and continue to turn out great stuff. We've seen examples of that at event after event, whether it's the annual meeting or other places where some of y'all's wares are shown off. That's been a great partnership.
The Pioneer of the Year video, the Citizen of the Year video, which featured yours truly.
Yours truly, yeah. No, there's some great dedicated volunteers and other folks that do a lot with the Chamber. But surely the upcoming debates a week from today, and then on the 21st.
I mean, that is just so exciting for Myrtle Beach to be able to host just one of them.
Yeah. If it was only one, it'd be unbelievable.
You know, we got them both. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, and to have them just right there, right up against the primary. I mean, that just brings such national attention to Myrtle Beach. And it's just, even for the residents and all the people volunteering to actually have the opportunity to be a part of that, to be a part of history, you know. And it's, Myrtle Beach is on the map.
It is very exciting to think about that. Yeah. Absolutely. Chuck, we've only got about 5 minutes. I'm amazed the time has blown by here, almost 20 minutes blown by. You know, we've got, obviously, Waves of Change here. There's a lot of other documentaries that you and Diane have been working on over the years. I know we think of one, a special character from Lake City.
Yeah.
Share with viewers about Ron McNair.
Ron McNair. This was the first documentary that I produced, and I actually was working for WBTW at the time.
Right.
And of course, you had the Challenger explosion, that horrendous event, and Dr. Ronald McNair was one of the mission specialists on the Challenger, and he was a native of Lake City.
Right.
And he was one of the first African American astronauts. So after the Challenger explosion, the station wanted to do a tribute to him since he was part of the coverage area.
Right.
And so, we went to Lake City. We did a lot of interviews, and the angle that I took on that was his childhood growing up through his college years, and that's where I ended it. And we had some wonderful materials. He had done a previous Challenger trip, and after he came back from that, he was kind of the toast of the state, and he actually gave a speech before the General Assembly. And I was able to get my hands on a copy of that. And then with the interviews with people who knew him, friends, family, teachers, we just were able to put together a very poignant documentary on his life. And the amazing thing, there was a gentleman, and I should remember his name right now. It's slipping my mind, but he was a pharmacist in Lake City, and he was also Jewish. And Ronald McNair, as a little boy, used to love to come into his store. And because he had magazines, Popular Science and stuff like that, and Ron would read those magazines. And the proprietor of the store talked to him one time about it, and Ron said that he was not allowed to check out books from the public library. So this would have been the times before segregation. I mean, during segregation, before desegregation. So this pharmacist actually would go and check out books for him.
No.
We got an interview with him. He was down in Hollywood, South Carolina. I didn't even know we had a Hollywood, South Carolina, south of Charleston. And so we just, it was just amazing, you look at his life, what he overcame, and to achieve the success that he did. The irony, the sad point is that his life was cut down
Right.
You know, just at the peak of his career.
Split second.
But it was a very amazing project to work on. We don't get to do too many documentaries.
Was that for BTW at the time? Or
Yes,
was
it was.
Okay.
Yep.
Have they re-released that any time or re-shown it? Or
No, they have not.
I don't even out of a vault.
I don't even think they have the master anymore. I actually have, I think, the only copy available.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow.
And there are a lot of.
How long was it, Chuck?
It was half hour, a little over half hour. I think about 40 minutes.
Is that right?
And there are a lot of Ronald McNair programs, science programs in colleges.
Right.
And clubs, and they've contacted us through the years and for copies of that.
Oh, I bet.
And we make that available to them.
How
Yeah.
exciting, Chuck, to have been a part of that right back at the get-go. And, of course, later you left WBTW, and did you join, is it WPDE?
Actually, WPDE came first.
Okay, good.
That's where I met Diane, in Florence.
Okay, yeah.
And when we got married, we moved to Myrtle Beach, and I helped open WBTW's first studios in Myrtle Beach. And everybody thinks it's out there by the back gate. That was not the first. The first were actually rooms 101 and 102 at the Holiday Inn West.
Oh, come on.
For 3 months. No, serious. And then they rented permanent facilities or, you know, annual facilities pretty much across the street from what was then the Waccamaw complex,
right.
the
Well,
Outlet
that'll be
Park.
the Hard Rock theme park.
Yeah. And so I was with them for 4 years, and right after I left them to start Stages Video, that's when they opened that permanent studio at the back gate, which they've now torn down to build the nice 3-story tall structure. Yeah.
And it's fascinating. You know, when Diane was with us a couple months ago, she talked about, I believe the two of y'all, maybe it was just her working at, was it Hillcrest Cemetery or selling burial plots for a while? Was that just Diane?
You bring that up. I wish I could say it was her. No, it was us.
It was the two of y'all, yeah. Great
but it's
early stages of marriage.
It's what got us to the beach.
Yeah.
You know,
goldfish.
the TV stuff, Diane's talk show in Florence had been canceled.
Right.
And
they wanted her to move into news.
They wanted her to do news. She didn't want to do it, so she walked away from them. And we had always talked about moving to Myrtle Beach, but she had a great job.
Yeah.
You know, I was just starting my career, so I was like, you know, my job's no big deal. And through contacts, we had an opportunity to come in and work for the Hillcrest family, and they are a wonderful family, and what the work they do is a great service to this community.
Yeah.
But it wasn't what we wanted to do for the rest of our lives. But it got us to Myrtle Beach and carried us for about 4 months, from October to January.
Right.
I started at Channel 13 in February, and Diane started doing her show Southern Style of March.
And that was for Cox at the time.
Yeah. Well, it was then Cox Cable, yeah.
Which obviously, to think about that, a 23, almost 23-year
we've come
run.
so far, because when we moved here, there was no broadcast television.
Right.
And in Myrtle Beach,
that's right.
You had the main presence was Wilmington.
Yeah.
It was a part of the Wilmington market.
Sure.
That has now changed. It became Florence Myrtle Beach. It's now Myrtle Beach Florence.
Right, it is.
And then 13 opened up the first full studio. Then ABC Channel 15 came in and did it. And then we had WGSE, which you know a little bit about,
actually,
the Christian station.
It launched in '84.
Yeah.
It launched in '84 there. I don't know if it was on Seaboard back then, but obviously launched it at that time, as you said, it was the Wilmington.
And that was the only local station
licensed to Myrtle Beach.
Right.
The other three all licensed to Florence. Now there will be another one opening on August 8th. A big addition to WNBF. Yeah, the NBC affiliate there.
We've come full circle.
It's amazing, Chuck.
Me and your director, we could write the story
you and Donald
of
Smith could talk quite
TV
a while,
broadcast,
or should and could do that. And of course, Donald and Diane, even those early stages there of
they work together,
kicking off a Southern Style, which is amazing to think about. You know, as you think back on all the documentaries, Chuck, is it tough to categorize in your mind? I mean, some of them must meld together, but do any of them really stick out? Was it the Dr. Ron McNair piece early on in your career, or any of the others that really stick out?
Well, I think for me that was probably the most emotional.
Right.
Just because of the tragedy that had happened. Mm-hmm. The latest one is always the one you're most passionate about.
Right.
But we were fortunate. We did, in 2004, we did the documentary on the 50th anniversary of Hurricane Hazel.
Oh, that's right.
Which was really an amazing project to work on, when you could, look at these photographs and old movies of the devastation that was brought to Myrtle Beach by Hazel.
Right.
And of course, that's every summer that's always in the back of all of our minds. The next storm that might be forming out there. We last year with the closing the final season of the pavilion. We were fortunate to be contracted by Burroughs and Chapin to produce the official documentary of the Myrtle Beach Pavilion. That was a lot of fun to work on. A tough one to do.
Oh yeah, that was probably emotional as well, Chuck.
Yeah, certainly, because, more emotional for other people.
Right.
Since, I didn't grow up in Myrtle Beach.
Right.
It was part of, I'd go down there in the summer and stuff like that. But for the people who, the Dino Thompsons of the world, who, that was their childhood,
Right.
how emotional that was for them. But to be able to document that, and
Right.
I know ETV did a documentary on the pavilion. Ours was a little different. Theirs was more like they had about a selection of people who talked about their memories, but that was kind of like the golden era of the pavilion, if you would say, the 50s and the 60s. Our documentary spanned the entire lifetime from the early 1900s, when it was just a rough, round pavilion, and then all the way up through the closing of the current one. But this one was really, this new one, the story of Myrtle Beach, Waves of Change, was just a great, Diane and I have such a passion for Myrtle Beach.
Right.
We love being here. We love how we've seen it grow over the years, and to be able to document that. And, as of this moment, this is the definitive documentary on the history of Myrtle Beach.
I love it, Chuck. And, I know we got you in to talk about that. I think we talked more about Theater of the Republic, and I'm glad we did.
That's good.
Big night tonight. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, come out and see it. And not to mention Guys and Dolls. Bring in McClare.
Oh, great. I love it. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Waves of Change director and editor, Chuck Stokes, coming up next. Check out this cover, the tremendous cover. We ran out of time, couldn't get into it. Waves of Change, the story of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Obviously following almost a century of history. So much in here. You can get on over to Chapin Memorial Library to pick up a copy to benefit the library. Obviously the cost very reasonable, and everything going to the Chapin Memorial Library. Take the time to get on by there. Give them a call to pop by. In addition, 488-0821. 488-0821. Broadway on Main kicks off today, runs through the weekend. And then you heard Chuck talk about it. His tremendous position as Nathan Detroit with his wife playing her, was it Adelaide position. Get out there, kicking off February 6th, 488-0821, Theater of the Republic in historic downtown Conway. Chuck Stokes.